Okay, item number 1, discuss performance of the city clerk. First, I'd like to do an opening statement. The order of business tonight is to review the performance of the city clerk. Anyone with shout-outs or disruptive behavior will not be tolerated and will be ejected. We will maintain order of this meeting. This will serve as a pre-warning. If you would like to make a public comment, please fill out one of the slips and please turn it over to the city clerk. You will get 3 minutes to express your comment. Please address the council with all your comments. And just a reminder, council, if I would like to request if you need to speak, and you already know this, but just address the chair first. We're going to go into a certain order of the agenda, but I'm just going to start with an opening statement. But during my opening statement, I ask the council to refrain from comments and questions until we reach the council deliberation, and then we will all discuss everything together. The purpose of this special meeting is one purpose only. Anything else will not be entertained tonight. Through the clerk's actions and email communications with the council, she has demonstrated contempt for this government body and has undermined the authority of this council itself. This cannot be tolerated. As a council, our position is to make policy that we have outlined and to support the administrative actions of the council. The clerk has demonstrated insubordinate behavior on many instances during the many email exchanges that I have provided a copy for the council tonight. She has undermined the council for reasonable requests for her contract, her PTO hours, etc. This has put the council in an uncomfortable position and has violated public trust. Communications must be civil and orderly. Our communications are filled with several allegations and harassing a council member. Lastly, please reference on your handout tonight that I obtained a copy of the email exchange between our city clerk and Senator Wright's office. If you can look at that. A meeting request was sent by our clerk to the Senator Tom Wright's office. This meeting was regarding our 2024 legislative appropriations request for our police, our fire, and our public works buildings. It was brought to my attention that Orange City Clerk never replied to the Senator's office for the meeting request. Because she did not fulfill her duty to check her emails, this may have cost the city approximately $3 million and not be able to build our facilities. In conclusion, the city clerk is an appointed officer appointed by the city council. Therefore, as her bosses, we have the authority to make those requests and should not be defied or challenged. The actions of the city clerk require employee discipline measures immediately, and that is why I called a special meeting tonight. The council cannot run our city efficiently with harassment and constant attack and allegations because order. Because we are questioning the clerk on her performance. I suggest we terminate for these stated reasons and for her improper and unprofessional communication with the council. I would like to advise the council that this concludes my opening statement, and at this time I need to have a motion to terminate our city clerk's contract as previously stated. So I'll be looking to the council for action.
Madam Mayor, may I?
Okay.
Thank you. Based on the totality of everything that we've been provided, and it's been on social media and emails and everything of the like, I make a motion to terminate the city clerk's contract effective immediately based on the following: lack of confidence and trust, there's no reasonable prospect of reconciliation, inappropriate behavior towards the council and attempting to undermine the council, pushback and or difficulty presented when direction given, making rules, policies, not following direction from council, demonstrated insubordinate behavior, and disseminating private text messages which have created public chaos, rumor, and defamation, which is not a desirable characteristic of a position of a public official.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Motion dies for lack of a second.
I just... Sorry?
second, you go right to citizens' comments.
No, that's not true. We need a second. Did you tell him that?
We don't need a second, right?
We can go straight to, what I recommend, Madam Mayor,
Yes.
is that we give the clerk a chance to go to the podium and
Before the
respond to
second? I thought you said after we get a motion and a
I
second.
don't think we had a second, so.
Well, he just said you told him that he didn't need one.
Would-
That's why I'm addressing this. Order.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll make it a second.
Okay, so now we have a second. So now what I recommend is
Yes.
that,
I
so
got,
now I recommend that we give Ms. Burleson the opportunity to go to
Yes.
the podium and give her.
that's what I intended to do. Thank you. Ms. Burleson, you can approach the podium and you have 10 minutes to speak your mind.
Speak my mind. Got it. First, I would like to state that I'm unsure of what text messages you are speaking of. Are you able to provide proof? Are you able to provide proof of those text messages
Sorry,
that
you
are
have to direct
accusing-
that at the council and not at one person.
Well, I have somebody making a motion to terminate me based on.
It doesn't matter. You-
So is the council able to provide proof of the text messages that I distributed?
Okay. Yes,
Are they?
it's all over social media.
From my understanding, those aren't text messages, those are Facebook messages.
Okay. Do you want to,
I'd like to discuss it when
Okay.
we have our
okay,
discussion.
okay, continue with your,
So I would also like to state for the record that the city clerk does not have access to any of the city council members' social media accounts. I have no access to those records. Records, according to statute, are to stay in the department that is responsible for keeping those records, and I have to physically ask for them. So I have no access to those records. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe the individual that dropped off those records at my office on November 12th in the afternoon is present,
okay,
just so you're aware. I would also like to state for the record that you still had a meeting with Tom Wright. I was also on vacation that week with literally a return response going to my emails talking about if you have, important information to reach out to the city clerk email for immediate assistance, that I was away with limited access to my email and phone. I would also like to state that you came in my office after legislative action days and told me how you took your intern to Tallahassee and how you dressed her up because she had big boobs and had her show off her cleavage to Tom Wright because he likes that kind of stuff. And I have 2 witnesses that were in my office when you said it. Would anybody else like to ask me any questions or address any situations?
No, the
I would also
council-
like to ask why, we're in November. Why are you addressing this in November?
the council is not going to address you at this time. You're to state what you would like to state, and you have 10 minutes. And I need the clock started, please. It's started. Oh, okay, thank you.
I would like to state that this is retaliatory in nature, that I had scheduled PTO off, that I notified this council on November 3rd, 2025, that I was taking PTO in order to accompany my 62-year-old mother to have a full hysterectomy. I would also like to state for the record that I was sick with a stomach bug yesterday and notified council yesterday morning, and that I received a text message and an email from Kelly Marks at 4:07 p.m. calling for a special meeting, which required me to get out of my bed and come to the office and post all the public notices as required. I was also required to find somebody else to take my mother to surgery today. My mother is still in recovery, by the way. I think it is absolutely vile that I had to choose between defending my character and my job and being there for my own mother who lives in my home. I am her caretaker. It is absolutely vile that I had to choose between that. You have multiple days that you could have picked a special meeting. You picked this day just because you did not want me to be in attendance. Can we also talk about how Woodard and Curran, one of our contractors that's actually working on, one of our vendors that's actually working on the new facilities plan, how they actually have lobbyists that help assist us in setting up meetings with all senators and House representatives, and they did so and emailed that schedule to you and to me. I understand that Tom Wright was not on it, but I also understand that you have the good buddy system with Tom Wright since he's on your board of directors. I would also like to respond to the email in which I sent out regarding food. I would like to state for the record that at the first meeting in October, the council requested that I provide them Olive Garden because council expects to be fed prior to 6 p.m. if they have a meeting. And I was cornered at the Orange City Elementary School ribbon cutting ceremony, and I was requested to purchase Olive Garden for 10 people, in which I followed the directions and did so. That meal was served at 5 p.m. and around, I don't know, 6:15, a couple members of the public came to me and asked me if they were allowed to eat the food. And historically, we have always allowed the public to share in a meal that is, you know, in a public meeting. So I advised them that they could, and you pulled me to the side and you asked if the public was allowed to eat the food. I would also like to mention that at the time it was 2 black women that were up there making their plate. One of them that you were speaking about in those racist Facebook messages. Both of them were members of the public. Both of them are taxpayers, and I told you that I thought they were entitled to share the meal as we paid for it with their tax money. In which I later on sent an email out asking for suggestions if, you know, if this was going to be a problem moving forward, because historically this is how Orange City has always handled the meals. In which I got a response back from you. I made suggestions on the survey. As far as sharing with the public, where does it state that rule that we have to share our meal with the public? My concern is I don't want to eat from a buffet with a ton of people touching the food I'm eating. It's not sanitary. What about individual meals for the council, pre-order and takeout orders? I find somebody that has a nonprofit, runs a nonprofit in this community that is so focused on ending hunger in her local community, and she's not willing to share a meal with the public. What if that was the only meal those individuals ate that day? I would like to also state that I brought up concerns because this council has raised ad valorem taxes. It's raised solid waste taxes. It's also raised stormwater taxes. And I brought that to your attention just, you know, I was trying to encourage how the public would feel having a catered dinner in a public meeting and telling them that they were not allowed to partake in it. So I encouraged you to take a different look at that, in which you respond, this is not a catered dinner. This is supposed to be meals for the council and staff who will be there a long time and do not have time in order to eat in between meetings and regular workday. I don't think it was appropriate for you to state that since food is purchased with public funds, we must share our meal. Be careful making up rules that are not in place unless you have facts to back it up. I would also like to state that there's no rule stating that I have to feed council when you have a meeting prior to 6 p.m., in which I responded and offered to bring you a policy at your December 9th meeting so that staff has clear guidance moving forward. The amount of
We got left.
hostile...
It's not. I was going to announce when we got to 3 minutes. It's
Thank
3
you.
minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay. There's been growing apprehensions among staff. I know there's numerous staff members that have previously resigned or recently resigned that are in the audience that were terrified to actually speak their mind during their exit interviews and why they actually left. You actually came into my office and told our public information officer in front of my executive assistant and in front of my deputy city clerk that you and the rest of the council thought she was completely incompetent at her job, in which she has since resigned. You also came into the office and demanded that the deputy clerk have to attend every single city council meeting, in which I explained to you how the deputy clerk and the city clerk split up meetings to where we can have ample time at home with our families as well. Because we handle more boards than just just the city council. I handle all boards of the city, which is around 10, just so you're aware. And I expressed the desire for a work-life, home-life balance for my employee, in which you literally laughed and basically told her, haha, too bad, get a different job. I would also like to state that I've had an employee come to my office in which she was actually crying. And I asked her, I was like, why are you crying? And she's like, I just feel so uncomfortable when she comes in the building. And I said, well, does she say anything to you? Like, is she mean? Is she, whatever? And she said, no, she just looks at us like she smells shit. I also had another employee come to me that was scared because she thinks that you are targeting her over the sign code in the land development code when that was adopted when she was a baby. And she unfortunately feels like she's fearful for her job due to the changes that you want that you won't bring up at council under new business like you properly should. And instead, you are treating employees and making them feel intimidated by you, like they are supposed to change the code for you automatically. And unfortunately, that's not the way it works. I've also had your mortgage company call my office numerous times. You've also made numerous racist comments in my office talking about how NAACP lunches and dinners make you uncomfortable. You also called me after presenting a proclamation at the Juneteenth event and told me that you went up to Dr. Primrose Cameron and her daughter and told her that this wasn't a very unity in the community event, that there weren't a lot of white people. I digress.
30-second warning.
I digress. I'm done.
Thank you. And we're going to move on to council deliberation, discussion and action. We'll go down the line. Vice Mayor, do you have any comments or anything for this?
No, I'm going to pass.
Comment? Councilwoman Darms, pass? Can you speak into the microphone? Sorry.
Well, I really basically want to pass. The only thing I will say is I have been a manager and I've had to deal with both hiring and dismissing. So I know this is kind of a double-edged sword here. And I think we have to really consider if you've ever been in a position where you've had that ability. It's not easy. It ain't easy, I know that. And I really don't have much to say right now. I just want to kind of keep absorbing and know what direction that we need to go.
Councilwoman Thompson?
Yes, so I went through all of the emails and I went through the context and I went through everything that was forwarded from the city clerk to all of us on the dais, even though we were all blind copies. She was very careful about that, so we didn't violate sunshine law if we replied all, so she wanted to make sure of that. However, we were involved in this back and forth with the emails. It's apparent to me that there's some things that just do not pass the smell test, and I'm sorry that, sometimes the truth doesn't care about your feelings, and honestly, if you are doing something that you shouldn't be doing, you have to be held to a higher standard. When you are a city employee, you are held to a higher standard. You're a public servant. You're higher standard than the general public. And I'm just going to give you a couple of pieces of information. Do with it what you will. But this is the facts, and referencing the employee handbook. As an employee of the city clerk is also a public servant who is held to a higher standard than the general public with regard to general conduct and ethical standards. The city relies upon the public's confidence and trust in our employees to provide effective quality services. Professionalism is a significant factor in providing the highest level of service to the public, which in turn promotes organizational integrity, public trust, and confidence, and does not negatively affect the public perception of the city. So on social media, you are prohibited from broadcasting or disseminating information via the internet the following: any material of which the nature is derogatory to any ethnic, racial, or other recognized segment of a society, or which reasonable people could otherwise find offensive. I'm not going to blast it out there, but there are things that I found offensive, and they did come from our city clerk. Referencing the City of Orange City Charter, Article 3, let me finish, please. Appointed officers, boards, and committees. Section 3.01, council appointments. The council shall appoint the following officers, boards, and committees. So in Section A, it says that a city clerk appointed by and removed by the city council by a motion requiring 4 affirmative votes, who shall give notice of meetings of the council, shall record, transcribe, and keep the minutes of its proceedings, and shall authenticate by signature and record in full in books kept for that purpose all ordinances and resolutions passed by the council. The city clerk shall have the power to administer oaths. The city clerk shall also validate by signature contracts made on behalf of the city, and shall keep a list of outstanding city bonds, when and where payable, and the rate of interest they respectively bear. The city clerk is directly responsible to the city council as the representative of the legislative branch and government, and may perform supplementary duties as assigned by ordinance or resolution of the city council. Nowhere in there does it say that the city council does not have the city clerk reporting to them. It is true, the city clerk is at the pleasure of the city council. They are supposed to be an unbiased I'm sorry?
Excuse me. No calling out. Thank you.
It's okay.
Go ahead, you have the floor.
It's okay. So they're supposed to be an unbiased record keeper. They're supposed to administer oath. They're supposed to oversee municipal elections, administer support, and city council. So when you're talking about retaliation, the emails are, you got the chicken before the egg. You got the egg before the chicken in some cases. You're doing it all wrong, because what you're looking at is you're looking at a timeline that does not make sense. There were emails that were put out prior to any involvement with the mayor. The mayor absolutely, in those emails that were sent out to the whole city staff and the city council, the mayor did try to make amends and say, I don't understand why you think that this is the case. And you can read the emails yourself, because it's been posted all over Facebook. Good. And so anyway, if you look at the timelines, you can see that. And what I say by what doesn't pass the smell test is regarding those, how do I say this? Those Facebook Messenger posts between the mayor, which she was not the mayor at the time, that was Gary Blair, and the, yeah, my deceased husband, thank you. She was vice mayor. He was vice mayor. He was vice mayor.
Excuse
He
me,
was vice
she's got
mayor.
the floor.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was vice mayor, correct. We were in Iceland on a vacation.
Excuse me,
and
Councilwoman Thompson, can you address the council, not the
Absolutely.
crowd? Thank you.
Sure. And so, and at any rate, my husband was on, the timeline of the 11th is when the mayor asked for the contract for 𝗙𝗘𝗏. And if you read it in the emails. And then when I read the next email, it's the 12th, and they're having a conversation about food. And when you read Kaylee's presentation, if we're talking about people overstepping their bounds, I believe it was her. Because of the information and the way that she went about it, maybe that should have gone through HR and not through the whole entire city council. I feel like it's a breakdown in the trust, and also how are you going to present yourself in that manner and it still continue to flow properly? It's just not going to do that. So all of these things that I'm reading, and all of these things I'm reading for Florida Senate laws and statutes, and what constitutes a city clerk, it's not tit for tat on an email. It's not who's going to win this and who's going to do all that. You're supposed to hold yourself to a higher standard, and that was why I went through and meticulously looked at all of the reasons why this, when we were looking at her performance, what I was looking at. So this is why it all came about. So that's where I'm at with that.
Thank you. Councilwoman Richardson?
As a member of Orange City Council, I want to make my position clear regarding the discussion surrounding the employment of our city clerk, Ms. Burleson. I have only served on the council for a short time. Ms. Burleson has consistently gone above and beyond to support me in my role. She has taken the time to answer every question I've had, no matter how small it was. She has always made herself available when needed. With Orange City already going through major changes, including getting a new city manager and a new city attorney, this is not the time to make another big change by removing our city clerk. We need stability right now, and keeping Ms. Burleson in this role is important for keeping things running smoothly. Ms. Burleson is not only a reliable source to this council, but is a true asset to the city of Orange City and to the work we are doing for our residents. Letting her go at this time would create unnecessary disruption and slow down the process and progress we have tried to make. For this reason, I do not support any actions to terminate Ms. Burleson. I fully support her and continue to serve as city clerk. And I believe her and experience are important in our city to move forward.
Thank you. Councilwoman Stafford?
Yes. What I would like for the council to consider, as Councilwoman Richardson stated, this is not time for a change. Kaylee has went above and beyond her duties as a city clerk. If you call sticking up for your staff as being insubordinate and disrespectful to someone that's bullying your staff, I don't understand it. I don't understand why we're here tonight. I really don't understand. I'm sitting here on council, don't understand the purpose of us being here. We have had a young lady who has worked with us for 5 years and has done an excellent job. And Madam Mayor, just on the meeting that we had on November the 12th, you just complimented her on an excellent job she's doing. Also, Councilwoman Dorm, you said she is the most transparent clerk that we've had. She has provided us with information that we don't usually receive. So I'm not understanding the reason for this. I really don't, because this young lady, Ms. Burleson, has been outstanding. She has looked at the heart of the city. She knew what it was important about in the city, the message that everybody keep referring to. And since everyone is referring to it, I feel like since I was one of the persons in it, I should be able to speak up and speak out. It was downright racist, it was downright disrespectful, and no disrespect to anyone, alive or dead. I had the utmost respect for Alex Timpson until I read that. I looked at him as a true nonpartisan person who loved people, who had a love for all people. I looked at him as not seeing color, but seeing the person and what we can do to better our city. As you said, I said my city because I take pride in my city, in which all these people are people that have elected us to be watchful and, like you always said, be conscious of how we spend their money, which is not being done by this council. By this council. So I'm in much just amazed that we're here tonight, even considering getting rid of a person that has brought us from where we were to where we are now, with a lot of hard work, respect, and because she believed in going by the rules, regulation that's in the book, and not because anyone told her to. She followed this book, and she loves her staff. She loves the people she works with. The city of Orange City, even though your staff here, when staff come in here and they get to know the family, it's like a family. Might they be related by blood, but our staff people have looked at each other as part of their family. And when you attack their family, the only thing they can do is come out and support them and let you know that this is not right. And so one of the things that I am really speaking on, I am not in favor of releasing an excellent worker from a job that's being well done, and we have told her that on several occasions. So why are we trying to dismiss her now?
Councilwoman Knight.
I have a kind heart. I have empathy. And I have genuine love for people in my heart. I make mistakes. We all do. But we got to man up and admit when we're wrong. Then you got to look at yourself and you've got to decide, what could you have done different? What could you be? How could you change? I managed 230 employees that reported to me at the bank for 20 years. In 20 years' time, I never terminated an employee without having a conversation and disciplinary action first. I think the emails and stuff that went back and forth could have been handled differently. I think you should have sat down and had face-to-face conversations with an HR rep present. The way this has been handled is ridiculous. I'm embarrassed. I'm sad. I'm upset because we used to be friends. And I used to try to tell you, you need to be careful about how you word things and how you present yourself. I tried to help you.
Order.
And I know there's been some issues with us, and that's okay. But I'm not going to sit here and lie, because I've already been caught up in that once, and it ain't going to happen again. I don't agree that we should terminate Kaylee. Kaylee's been there for every one of us up here. And if any of you sit up here and look at me and tell me different, you're lying. You go to her, you ask her for stuff, and she's on top of it. She gets it for you. Now, this email and all this social media business, I hate to tell y'all, I found out that stuff was leaked by other people who had requested it. Someone, I don't even know who, sent it to my personal email address, and I don't even know how they got it. So y'all need to be thinking about that. People mess up, people make mistakes, and people handle stuff wrong, front to back. It ain't just Kaylee's fault, it's your fault too. Both of y'all could have handled this much differently, and we wouldn't be sitting here tonight. Now, I'm sitting here. I stand on my own 2 feet. I'm not afraid to go against people up on this council. Because when I ran for office, I said I was standing on my own 2 feet. I'm my own person. But I will say this is wrong. Amen. It's wrong on multiple levels. I'm sorry Alex got pulled into this. I've always respected him because he always gave me good information and gave me good direction. But I'm going to tell you, I was sad when I saw that. Because I don't want to look at Alex any different than I did when he was here. But it made me sad. And it made me sad for you to have to deal with it. The only reason I haven't said anything about any of this stuff is because I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. But I'm going to say it now. This is wrong. And for somebody to not have any kindness or empathy or anything, shame on you. Don't know what's going on in people's lives either. And even though we got to check stuff at that door, sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult for me to sit up here tonight because my husband's fighting prostate cancer and he's going through radiation treatments, and our plan was to spend quality time together tonight to watch a movie. Instead, I'm sitting up here. Now, again, this could have been handled differently. And if we were smart, we wouldn't look at terminating, but we would look at sitting down and try to figure out how you can work it out. That's how I feel on both sides. I'm going to be fair. I'm not pointing fingers in one direction or the other. But I'm telling you, this is wrong. And y'all need to be thinking about that. And if you can go home tonight and look yourself in the mirror and say, I've never done anything like that in my life, then you're lying to yourself. Because I know I have been insubordinate in the past. I'd be lying to myself. So it's something to think about. Something to think about. I've gotten to where I'm almost embarrassed to sit on this council because I'm hearing from Deltona, DeLand, DeBerry, New Smyrna Beach. We're a laughing stock.
Yes, we are.
And that is not what we got up here to do. We got up here to bring this community together, not tear it apart. What are we doing? What are we doing? I love Orange City. I love its citizens. But for God's sake, think about what you're doing. I will not support terminating 𝗙𝗧𝗬.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to answer a couple questions and then we're going to move on. Okay. So first of all, I always thought 𝗙𝗧𝗬 was a good clerk. I really did. But things changed in the last couple weeks with these emails and all that. And when we're having discussions through email like that, it's not acceptable. It's not. I clearly asked for her contract on November 12th or November 11th from the interim city manager that evening, and I texted her, I think, and I said, I'm trying to call the clerk's office, but nobody's answering. And I said, I called twice and nobody's answering, and I was working and she was working, and she said, well, it's Veterans Day. And I said, duh, okay. I'm so sorry. I said, when you go in the morning, will you get a copy of her contract for me? She said, sure. She sent it to me the next day. As soon as I got that contract in my email, as well as I think you all did, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's when it all blew up with emails about the council food and, the different things I have here of the emails. Excuse me. No shout outs. So the bottom line is, you know, we went around and around about the food thing. And excuse me. One more time and you're out of here. One more time and you're out of here. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me.
I know you all are passionate, but please let her speak.
Chief, can you remove her, please? I'll gladly leave. Thank you. Thank you. I really just want to get through this meeting. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay. I'm calling a 10-minute recess. Thank you. We'll return at 8:17.
Not leaving, are you? You're not leaving, are you? Worried about her. I'm worried about her. This is the beginning. This is just the beginning. I'm not going in.
Backpack buddies, funneling money through Helping Hands, funneling money through the Tom. Oh yeah, you know Tom, right? Yeah, the core civic and the private prison groups. You don't think I'm not tracking all that? Have all of her numbers.
Straight down this, go down this hallway, make a left, and it's gonna be down on your left. I'm sorry I didn't speak. I wish I would. Yeah.
I see you for a second? I'm sorry. I ran you off because he really wanted to talk to her right earlier and I didn't get it. Oh, I wanted him to have his minute. Thank you.
Are you tired?
Had to pee her outside.
I'm gonna have a piece of pizza, but the boat's still there. And the, nice. I know I did. Well, don't ask favors, you know. But at any rate, I had a bolt broken, engine blocked. I don't know. I didn't break it. I did not heal it. I hired a guy to do it. I did everything, but I hired a guy, kind of ripped me off. But I got the new stuff. I didn't even think it. I should have. Purple.
photographer at the top.
Time. Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Lost my page. Okay, at this time, Mr. Waters, how should we proceed with this?
Okay, Madam Mayor, we have a motion and a second. I recommend we call the vote.
Okay, can the clerk call the vote, please?
Vice Mayor Grimm,
No.
Councilmember Stafford,
No.
Councilmember Richardson,
No.
Councilmember Jarms,
No.
Councilmember Knight,
No.
Councilmember Thompson. Yes. Mayor Marks.
Yes. Okay, so the motion fails.
Motion
and
fails.
The meeting, motion to adjourn. Can I get order? I just need a motion to adjourn, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion adjourned.
Now, motion for your resignation.